I am going to talk to you today about self-fulfilling prophecies, which is where you expect something to happen, and so because you expect it to happen, it does happen. And I'm going to talk about that in relation to relapse. If you say to yourself, if this happens, I'm going to relapse. If I don't find a therapist soon, I'm going to relapse. If someone says this about me, I'm going to relapse. If I weigh myself and I weigh this much, I'm going to relapse. Or anything to do with that. If you say to yourself and convince yourself that you will relapse if that happens, it most likely will. And, that's what a self-fulfilling prophecy is. If you think something's going to happen, you're kind of saying to yourself, you're giving yourself permission to relapse if something happens which is triggering to you, and that's, you're already setting yourself up for failure if that happens. It's all about attitude and commitment to the recovery process. If you're going to recover and you want to fully recover, you have to accept that triggers happen. Life is full of a lot of triggers. You are going to experience them, and what you need to know is that you're not going to relapse just because you've been triggered. You can find ways to deal with the trigger, to cope with it, and not be triggered into acting upon it. So if you think that you're going to relapse, then there is a big chance that you will. If you say to yourself, I accept that there are going to be difficult, triggering times in recovery, but I will not let it affect my recovery, then that's a positive attitude. You are always aware that you're going to move forward regardless. That doesn't mean that you won't have bad days. We take 2 steps forwards, 1 step backwards, 2 steps forwards, 1 step backwards, but that still means you're moving forward all the time. You're not letting yourself get derailed and completely backtrack. Recovery is hard. It's not just a linear line. Recovery is full of squiggles and ups and downs and curves, but it doesn't mean that you are going to relapse. You can have lapses, which are small periods of time where you may backtrack a little bit, but then you'll pick yourself up, dust yourself off and keep moving forward, whereas a relapse would be completely spiralling back down and not attempting recovery anymore. If you go in with the attitude of committing fully to recovery, you understand that there are going to be things that may have little setbacks upon you, that may be very difficult to face and deal with, but what you do is you set up support and coping mechanisms for if you come across these triggers. And it's very important to do that because it's it's setting yourself up for success, really. If you are convinced that something is going to make you relapse, and you're like, yeah, if that happens, I'm going to relapse, then you've kind of given your eating disorder permission to pull you back down. You've got to always be looking forward and, know that even if things are difficult, you are still going to try and push forwards from it. You say, yes, if that happened, that would be very difficult, but I would still attempt to move forward. And it's important because these two attitudes are, really, really influential on your recovery. So having these two different attitudes can have two very, very different outcomes. One is that you relapse, and one is that you don't. You cope, and then you move forward. So yes, having the positive attitude and the commitment to the recovery is a very important part of recovery, and to not commit and to say that this will make me relapse, that will make me relapse. that is setting yourself up for a relapse. That's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So yeah, again, I don't really have a huge amount to say on the topic because it's quite straightforward. It needs to be a positive attitude. You need to commit. You need to work always towards moving forward, even if something sets you back, rather than having a setback and being like, right, that's it, fine, and just scrapping every progress that you've made, or saying that if a certain trigger happens, then you will just scrap all your progress, because saying that, as I said, that is much more likely to happen if you convince yourself that you will relapse if something, an event, a triggering event or whatever happens. So yeah, I mean, it is, again, I'm going to repeat myself, but I can't really stress how important it is to have a positive attitude. I mean, I'm not saying you got to be happy-do-lally about recovery all the time. That's just not really very realistic, but knowing that whatever obstacles come in your path, you will attempt to cross them, and that is the most important thing, because sometimes there will be obstacles in your path that you attempt to cross, and at that time you're not able to cross, but it's kind of about saying, okay, right, that didn't work, crossing that obstacle didn't work, how else can I cross this obstacle? How else can I get around it and overcome it, or knock it down? Rather than, oh, I didn't get across this obstacle, well, fine, I'll just walk backwards then. Because that's what's going to set apart people that are going to recover and people that are going to relapse. And again, it's about looking ahead. Okay, so I can see that there is going to be this obstacle in the future. How am I going to deal with that? How am I going to go around it? If I can't get over it, what will I do? Will I go backwards or will I go forwards? And the people who go forward, who said that they will go forwards, they will go forwards. However long it takes, it might take a while to find a solution to overcome this obstacle. But those who say, yeah, if I hit that obstacle, I'm not going to be able to deal with it, I'm just going to go straight backwards. Those are people that won't be able to deal with the obstacles. And even if you are one of those people now, you can change that. It's an attitude shift. It is about committing. It is about accepting that this is going to be a difficult journey, but about knowing that you will be able to overcome it, even if it takes a long time, which recovery does. And accepting that each obstacle is an obstacle that can be overcome. All obstacles in recovery can be overcome. And I think that's the most important thing, really. Knowing that they all can be overcome rather than saying, nope, if I hit that one, it's not going to happen. Because all obstacles are obstacles that you can move forwards from. All obstacles are able to be defeated. So yeah, I think I just repeated myself like a million times again, as usual, but I do think it's important. And if you don't have a positive attitude, it's absolutely possible to have one. I mean, I haven't always had a positive attitude towards recovery. I refused recovery for a long time. And then I worked towards having a positive outlook on it, and got stronger and stronger as I got more positive, and was able to overcome more and more obstacles, and then just kept moving forwards. And the stronger I got and the more positive I got, the more obstacles that I did overcome, and I didn't go backwards because I was prepared to meet obstacles head on. I wasn't going to let obstacles derail me. So yes, as I said already, it's about attitude. It's about how you view the problems that you are going to come across, about your future obstacles that you are going to face. It's about how you face them, and with what kind of mindset. So, yes, don't trap yourself with self-fulfilling prophecies. Do not trap yourself with them, and know that you are strong enough to overcome any obstacle that is in your path during recovery. I know it might not feel like it, but you are strong enough. And so yeah, just know that you are. Even if you feel that an obstacle will set you back, convince yourself, just keep telling yourself, I can deal with it. I will deal with it when it comes. And, set up as many kind of support networks and coping mechanisms as possible, so you have an idea of how to cope with each thing as it comes along. So yeah, I hope everyone is doing well. I think I say this every single video, but it's true. I do hope that everyone's doing well. I have had a massive problem with my laptop at the moment. It is not working at all. Just everything that could go wrong with it is going wrong with it, and then some things work for a little bit and then they stop. So I'm having a problem with that. I'm hopefully going to be able to upload this today or tomorrow, but if it's late again, then I'm really sorry. I'm recording this on a Tuesday. This is a Tuesday, so I am recording this and it is ready to be uploaded, but it does depend on what my laptop decides to do and whether I can borrow my dad's laptop or whatever. So yes, I will speak to you guys next week. Keep your head up, stay strong, and keep fighting your eating disorder.